Another one from Jason. He says, I had an article of mine ranking #1 on a local term for almost a year. Now it's in position number 10. It doesn't appear like the competition got any fiercer. If anything, pages with no links are ranking higher than me. What are the possibilities? And how do you think about something like this? Well, likely, Jason, it's a traffic issue. It's most likely, and I don't know that to be the case. There could be a number of variables. It could be a link, an inbound link issue, which would be kind of like a penguin type filter. Although if you're still on page 1, it's likely not the case. My guess with such limited information in this question is that it's likely a traffic issue. In other words, you're not getting a lot of traffic to the page, even though it's on page 1, or when people are clicking through. So in other words, you're not getting a lot of click-throughs from the search results page to your web page. That could be part of it. It could also be that if you are getting the click-throughs, there's not much dwell time, or they're bouncing. They're landing on the page, but they're not dwelling on it very long, or they're clicking the back button. So there's a number of things that I've seen. You can be ranked #1 position, but if the searchers that are searching, Google users that are searching for that particular search query are always clicking on #2 and #3 and #4, Google's going to start moving you down because you're not getting the click-through from that search result page that the other listings below you are getting. So that could be, how do you fix that? Well, you write more compelling copy for your meta description, your title tag, your headline, essentially your SEO title, that make it more compelling. That's one way to get higher click-throughs. But also, even if you're getting the click-throughs, if they're not dwelling on the page or engaging, interacting with the content by scrolling, by clicking through to other links, by hovering over images, the kind of things that Google knows are engagement signals, and they're clicking the back button, then that's a bounce, right? And that's going to also be a negative ranking factor. And so Google can start demoting your site from that. Guys, engagement metrics are huge right now, and it's only going to continue to get stronger because they're harder and harder to spoof than traditional SEO tactics. Right? So that's what I would say it's probably an engagement thing, but it could be a number of variables. There's a lot of stuff that could be analyzed to determine what could be going on. Any comments on that, guys?
Yeah. It should be in Search Console. You should have this website totally in Search Console so that you could go in and look at the clicks, the impressions, and the CTR. You can look at the page and see kind of the action that's taking place on that page. You should have a heat map to know what people are doing on your page. But I think a really good one is CTR, right? The click-through rate in Search Console, because that's telling you the impressions that Google is giving you for that keyword, and then how many times people are seeing that and clicking on it. If that's really low, then that means people are not liking what you're serving them right at the beginning. So you need to know. You need to go and take a look at what your competition did with their title, SEO title, and their description, which is the first thing they're going to see about you, and how you can go and adjust your copy so that you get better CTR, so that you get better traffic. And you have to make sure that the page that the person is landing on is what they're looking for, because you don't want them going to that page and then having to go back to the home page, going to another page, having to come back to the homepage, because all that clicking back and forth is a negative signal now. It's not a good signal. When a person goes and doesn't find, and they click back to the homepage, and then they go to another one, and they come back, Google will kill you for that shit now. As Bradley was talking about, it's not just engagement, but it's dwell time on the page and whether people interact with whatever it is that you're serving them. So there's a bunch of things that you could do. But the very first thing, make sure you have this in Search Console so that you can take a look at the shit that Google is giving you to fix the numbers, right? The metrics, and you can start working with that.
Yep, absolutely. And for those of you that are like, well, I don't even have analytics on my site, how does Google know? Well, because Google Chrome is the biggest, most used browser on the planet. And if anybody's viewing your site on Chrome or from a Chrome browser, Google knows what they're doing. Google also knows if you're using WordPress, you probably have Google font code in the header of your WordPress site, the HTML header of your WordPress site. So Google has code on your site. It knows what's going on. I'm telling you, there's if they're searching from a mobile device, it's an Android. Guess what? Google knows exactly what's going on your site, right? So, and as Marco said, you should have Search Console installed anyways. And so that, again, more code. Google knows what's going on your site. So engagement signals are, or factors are, or excuse me, engagement signals are a huge ranking factor. Okay. If you stack your content properly through, silo structure and keyword theming and that kind of stuff, then you shouldn't have issues with people clicking back and forth trying to find the correct content anyways. So